And like I told Barack, if I reach something where there's a fundamental disagreement we have based on a moral principle, I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign.
Biden might retire as early as this weekend, likely tomorrow, according to sources close to Newsmax political analyst Mark Halperin. Could Michelle Obama stop Trump from becoming 47? Is there a hidden force keeping Joe from dropping out? By the end of this video, you will understand the most likely 2024 election scenario and what it means for Trump.
Carl, according to multiple Democratic sources, this is happening all of a sudden. Everyone said it would happen gradually and then all at once, and that's what's happening. According to my sources, President Biden has agreed to step down as the Democratic nominee.
Oh, man.
It will happen as early as this weekend. A speech has been drafted for him. He will continue on as president, is his intention. He also will not, I'm told, endorse Vice President Harris as his successor. They're hoping that he will endorse an open process in which the convention will be open to Vice President Harris and a few other candidates in Chicago to pick the Democratic nominee for president. The belief is that Vice President Harris is already looking at potential running mates to go to Chicago with a full ticket, including one possibility, Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, and perhaps the governor of Pennsylvania, Governor Shapiro. Other possible candidates who are being talked about include Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, perhaps Gretchen Whitmer, and again, the vice president running. On the first ballot, the regular delegates would be allowed to vote under this agreement that's being talked about amongst the president and high-level Democratic officials. The regular delegates would vote on the first ballot. If there is no winner on the first ballot, the so-called super delegates would be allowed to vote on the subsequent ballot. This decision was reached, I'm told, all of a sudden because of the high-level pressure from Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, and others, and as well as the decision of many of President Biden's top aides that there was no path forward for him, that he would not be able to win this election, win the general election. And therefore, he's stepping aside again as early as this weekend.
You have the California Mafia, collectively known as Nancy Pelosi and Shifty Schiff, are publicly coming out, being very aggressive, telling Biden to resign. But will he listen?
News. This is coming from Los Angeles Times. When your friends turn against you, California Congressman Adam Schiff has now asked Biden to leave. He's going to kiss up to him, though. Here's the quote: has been one of the most consequential presidents in our nation's history. His lifetime of service as senator, vice president, and now as president has made our country better. And here's the quote, but, and you know if it came before the word but, he probably didn't mean it. That's how our language works. But our nation is at a crossroads. A second Trump presidency will undermine, blah, 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 blah. The choice to withdraw from the campaign is President Biden's alone, but Schiff believes it's time for Biden to pass the torch.
Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are saying, you're going to lose the Senate as well. Even donors are saying, hey, the money is drying up. But these power-hungry individuals may have met their match, someone who is also power-hungry, and it could affect the decision if Biden follows through tomorrow and resigns and walks out of the Oval Office. Jill Biden is the immovable wall that Pelosi thinks she's an unstoppable force, but she's not. Jill Biden is power hungry. Listen to Megyn Kelly talk about this with Piers Morgan. And LFR family originally pulled this clip. Shout out to LFR family.
I did a bit that went viral on how she insists on being called Dr. Jill Biden everywhere. And all these left-wingers got upset with me. She is a doctor. She's got her PhD. She's in education, what have you. I don't make fun of that degree. My own father had that degree. But my father would never have insisted somebody call him Dr. Kelly. He went by professor, and that was a title he'd earned. Why does she insist on it? Because she's power hungry. Because she has a small, fractured ego that she needs built up. She needs the affirmation of strangers to give her an honorarium. That really means almost nothing. The only people who get to be called doctor legitimately, I understand, no disparaging of the degree, are medical doctors. If you can't say, yes, I will resuscitate him when he has a heart attack on a plane, stop using that label. When you get introduced at a book club or on The View, which is what she does, all right? And I do think it's tied to what we're seeing now, the big reveal about her.
Yep.
She's power hungry. She wants it. What did we see from her on debate night? We saw her take the stage and guide the president of the United States down the stairs like a mama would of a toddler, like you and I both did when our kids were babies. And then after the debate, that clip that was everywhere with her saying, "You did it. You answered all the questions." Again, speaking to her the way I speak to my dog when he sits on command.
It really was.
This is the leader of the free world. She knows how infirm he is. She wants a shadow presidency.
She wants a shadow presidency and to be in charge, so she is not going to take Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Hakeem Jeffries seriously. She's going to be in Biden's other ear. And also, Hunter Biden has access to the best drug dealers in the world, being the president's son. He has the ability to avoid prison time. He has the ability to put off things that he doesn't want to deal with. So Biden's family, who he loves dearly, is yelling at him to not drop out. Joe Biden may drop out of the presidential race tomorrow and resign from his presidency. I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm just saying it's not a given as much as Democrats are saying it is, and they're running some psyops. But I do know that they're good at blackmailing, so they could blackmail Biden and get him to step down. But let's talk about Donald Trump. You're going to be relieved at what I have to tell you next. If you had Biden drop out and say he is not running, you would have Kamala Harris, and there would be an open delegation that could vote for anyone if Kamala didn't get enough of the votes. And who of Democrats, the name they've been putting up? Michelle Obama. And she is the only Democrat who has a very strong polling advantage over Donald Trump. But guess what? She has zero interest in becoming president unless, again, they blackmailed her. Some people are just introverts like me. They are drained being around people, highly productive, but being in a role like the president, Michelle Obama has stated for 12, 14 years she would hate it. I'm just going to show you a few of her quotes. I'll leave this link in the description so you can tell your friends, don't worry about Michelle going against Trump, because she would be his strongest opponent, according to the polls. Obama told BBC the question whether she'll run for office is one that she hates being asked the most. Still, she clarified her position, no, I'm not going to run. April 2023, Oprah repeated her question, this time asking about 2024, not 2020. Again, Obama said that she has never expressed any interest in politics ever. This is Michelle continuing. I'm just wondering, does what I want have anything to do with anything? Does who I choose to be have anything to do with it? March 5th, Carson, Obama's communication director, told NBC that Obama supports Biden's bid for re-election and has no plan to run. She gave the same statement to Business Insider on July 5th. Why does all of this matter? Talking about her, we're going to look at the other Democrats if Biden is replaced, but they would need to get 1,976 delegates. Biden during the primary got 3,904. And there's 1 month left. They've got to convince him to resign before the month. Otherwise, it's going to be hell at the convention, and people are going to be making deals, Democrat factions, and stabbing each other in the back. So they've got 1 month, but here are the polls right here. If the deep state does blackmail Biden and he does drop out or he just doesn't continue, I know he's got dementia, but people's bodies can continue for a long time with dementia, and he is polling as well as anyone else, with the exception of Michelle and occasionally Kamala. So you have Trump and Biden tied 40-40. This was a poll a few weeks ago. The numbers have changed in favor for Trump even better now after the assassination attempt and some of the court decisions. But anyways, this gives you a general idea. Joe Biden and Trump, somewhat competitive, but Trump is winning. Michelle probably would have crushed Trump, unfortunately, because people are brainwashed into thinking that she was a good first lady when her husband is a Marxist. And Kamala and Trump, Kamala's thinking that if she can get Joe to drop out, she can have a good shot at beating Trump. But the more she speaks, her numbers are going to go down. She's going to be at a disadvantage against Donald Trump, certainly if they debated. Gavin Newsom, it says 39-42. When people hear about Gavin Newsom's transgender bill where the state takes your kids, he is going to sink. His poll numbers are going to sink like a rock. A lot of these people on the board behind me are very far leftist. Now, Joe Biden, he's controlled by leftist, but he was actually not that far left of a Democrat. I didn't like his policies, but his 1994 crime bill was not progressive at all. But continuing on, Gretchen Whitmer, too liberal, not a chance. Andy Beshear, he's seen as somewhat moderate, but he went woke on COVID. I believe J.B. Pritzker, that's the governor of the state of Illinois, he has no chance whatsoever. So if Biden stays in, Trump has the advantage. If it gets chaotic and they replace Biden, whether it be with Kamala Harris or one of these other Democrat governors, they're just too liberal for the average American. Biden is the best they have. Michelle Obama has said 20 times she wants nothing to do with politics. So Donald Trump looks well on his way to winning on November 5th. I'm going to pray really quickly for America and our protection. God, protect Donald Trump and restore the United States, our faith in you, and our unity in our country. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm David with Patriot Mindset. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with more soon. And YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video up here.